Alright, if for nothing else, I want Spider-Man's AI. Yeah, you know how you saw in the trailer that he has an AI in his suit that's like, good evening, you have over 500 possible web combinations. I want that, cause it is awesome. Spider-Man Homecoming. So Spider-Man Homecoming is the 16th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the 4th movie in its Phase 3. And in it, following his big debut in Captain America Civil War, Peter Parker is still going through high school while balancing his new life as Spider-Man. He is enjoying the hell out of his new starked out suit, the suit that really looks like this. But he's slipping, he's falling through the cracks, and then there's this big scary vulture guy out there, he's doing bad shit. And Tony Stark is acting as a kind of mentor to him, but not really though. And now we have our new Spider-Man movie. Right off the bat, I will say manage your expectations with this movie. That doesn't mean I'm saying it's bad. It's not a bad movie. It is not a bad movie. It's a good movie. It is actually a good movie. I'm just saying though, because I made the mistake of like deifying this movie. I was like, oh my god, Spider-Man Homecoming, I can't wait this movie. Oh my god, he's gonna like be the best Spider-Man ever. And Tom Holland still is the best Spider-Man ever, but this movie, I do have some minor problems with it. I'm not gonna lie. But let's go over the characters. Like I said, Tom Holland as Peter Parker was perfect. He is a great Peter Parker and he's a great Spider-Man. When he suits up and he's taking out bad guys, dude, the wisecracks that he spits out are perfect. There are a few things that I absolutely require in a good Spider-Man movie, and Spidey humor is one of them. I was cracking up at his jokes. I loved them. I don't know how much of it was like ad-libbed or written. Point is, it's hilarious. Next up, I'm gonna talk about the people he's close with. Ned Leeds, I'll say he was a good supporting, friend, someone to bounce off of Peter Parker, have good dialogue with. He did annoy me a couple of times though, especially in the beginning when he finds out he's Spider-Man, which is not a spoiler, you saw that in the trailer. Because he's like asking all those questions, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? I'm like, alright, I get that you're excited about this, but it's kind of getting annoying. Although I can't really say I blame him, because if I found out that my best friend was secretly like a superhero going out and doing cool shit, I would probably do the same exact thing. I'd be like, dude, what is it like? Can I wear the mask? So alright, whatever. Zendaya as Michelle is funny, because there was a big rumor going around a while back that she was going to play Mary Jane in this movie. She's not Mary Jane, she's Michelle. And I wish I could have seen her more because I really like Zendaya. I mean, she's not really an important character, she's kind of the standoffish girl, kind of like Hermione, except a little more bitter, I would say. Liz Allen is the one who probably should have been on the poster instead of Michelle, if I'm being completely honest. Liz Allen, played by Laura Harrier, is the love interest, and she did a fine job, although some scenes with her, I was like, yeah, alright, this is kinda lame high school stuff. Which again, I get, because I was in high school at one point, and I had a huge crush on this girl, and I just did not have the balls to talk to her, I'm being honest. Yeah, my experience in high school with girls was miserable. So when Peter and Liz actually get some good conversation going, I'm like, good for you! I'm living vicariously through him. That being said, Liz could have had more depth. Just saying. Aunt May, played by Marissa Tomei, is also funny because, when she debuted in Civil War, people were like, wow, that's the hottest Aunt May ever, and I'm not gonna deny that. They haven't forgotten that in this movie. That's all I'm gonna say. Alright, Tony Stark / Iron Man is in this movie, and a lot of people were scared that, oh my god, he's gonna totally eclipse Spider-Man. Don't worry about that, this is totally Spider-Man's movie. You're kind of on the fence. Does he actually care about this kid, or is he just kind of shrugging him off? You don't really know, and I like that. But yeah, he's really only in the movie for a couple of scenes, and he doesn't even steal the show. You can tell the scene with him is still all about Peter trying to grow as a person. I love how they played up the relationship between Peter Parker and Tony Stark. Again, I'm not gonna spoil it, just it's really good. I will say that when Iron Man showed up on screen, it's pretty cool. Alright, Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes / Vulture. This is a great villain. I'm saying that because A, Michael Keaton is a really good actor. B, he has motivation behind what he's doing. And C, for a reason I can't really say because it is a spoiler, it is something that I think the best villains have, and I'm really glad Adrian Toomes had it in this movie. I will touch on it in a spoiler talk I do later on. But I loved his Vulture suit. When he's flying around, he is actually pretty scary. Those wings are menacing because they are huge! They span like the length of this room. If I saw someone with huge wings like that and an aviation mask with glowing green eyes coming at me, I would be pretty scared. So yeah, good job for the villain in this movie. Alright, now that I'm done with the characters, how is the actual movie itself? This is why I'm saying you gotta manage your expectations, because in my humble opinion, the movie did take a little while to get going. And believe me, as a Spider-Man fan, I know that is not what my fellow Spider-Man fans want to hear. People want this to be the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2, and it is, but that's really not saying much. Like I said, some of the high school stuff did feel a little lame sometimes, but one of my biggest concerns with this movie is that, first of all, I love Spider-Man action scenes, among the best in any Marvel movie ever. When he's just going to town kicking ass and swing all over the city, I love that shit. I get so giddy when I see it in a theater. In Spider-Man Homecoming, he's still kind of an amateur. He's not been Spider-Man for that long, so when he gets this new starked out Spidey suit, like I said, he falls through the cracks, he messes up a couple of times, he makes mistakes, which is part of the story, and I get that, but I just wanted to see Spider-Man be a badass badass, you know, and really go to town. I wanted to see him swing throughout the city like the end of Raimi's first 2 Spider-Man movies, and I really didn't get that. There is some good action in this movie, don't get me wrong, but after seeing Spider-Man be completely badass in quite a few Spider-Man movies, the action in here just did not really impress me that much. I don't like seeing Spider-Man be an amateur and mess up. I just don't. Like I said, you know, there are scenes where he's just dropping jokes and kicking the shit out of bad guys, and I love that shit. Like I said, there's some great action in this movie, but like the first half, I'll say. The first half of the movie's action, he was screwing up, and I was like, oh man, Spidey, you know, I'm so used to you being more badass than this. It's kind of unfair for me to compare this Spider-Man movie to previous Spider-Man movies because they are, you know, their own separate franchises, but I'm a Spider-Man fan, and I guess I just really can't help it. Also, if you can avoid watching the trailers, avoid them at all costs because they show way too much. Just a side note, a warning. It's really not the movie's fault, you know, because in a year from now, I'm still gonna have the movie. The trailers are just gonna be whatever. So I really can't blame the movie for its trailers showing too much. And the humor. Like I said, when Spidey drops jokes, it's really good. But there is some humor in this film that fell flat for me. Not from the webhead, from other characters. You know, some scenes would end on a joke and then pause for a minute to let the audience laugh, and the audience around me was laughing. I guess it's just harder to make me laugh. I don't know, maybe I'm just an asshole. I'll say Spidey's humor was hilarious. Everyone else's, not so much in my opinion. However, in the third act, the movie really picked up and gave me the Spider-Man movie that I wanted. The third act in this movie was awesome! So if anything, this movie is like Rogue One. Slow to start, you know, slow to start, alright, can we get to the good shit? And then at a point, till the end of the movie, it has your attention, you are locked in, you are unable to take your eyes off the screen. The action was kick-ass. There were some great dramatic moments that delivered the feels. That spoilerish thing about the villain that I mentioned earlier comes into play, and I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming. And it added a whole nother layer to this conflict of Spider-Man versus the Vulture, and it was excellent. The score, composed by Michael Giacchino, unfortunately was disappointing to me. I'm used to Spider-Man scores having a really specific feel to them, like Danny Elfman's score, or you know, Hans Zimmer's score, bum bum bum. With both of those scores in particular, I can see Spidey swinging throughout the city having fun. Those to me had a definitive Spider-Man feel. Giacchino's score in this film really just kind of felt like a generic superhero movie score, and that really bummed me out. Giacchino writes really good music. I loved his theme for Doctor Strange. I thought he could come up with something really good here. I mean, Spider-Man does have a theme in this movie, but I didn't like it. It was too generic for me. The villain has a pretty good theme though, I will say that. Also, when the Marvel logo shows up on the screen, that music, it's awesome. In the end, despite all my concerns with this movie, I still had a really good time with it. I know it feels like I didn't have a great time with it, but I really did. Tom Holland as Peter Parker / Spider-Man is amazing. I love Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes. I love the story in this film. The visual effects, of course, were great. It just, to me, did take a little while to get going, and some of the humor did fall flat. Those are my 2 biggest flaws. But am I gonna go see it again? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go see it again, because I love seeing my boy on the big screen. So for Spider-Man Homecoming, I will say, go see this movie while it's in theaters. And there is a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. They're both good, although that post-credit scene... I want to talk about it, but I can't. So, right, I'm trying to think of a question to ask because this movie's not out for another week. Oh, alright, I got one. What is your favorite Spider-Man action scene in a movie? That's a good question. Whatever it is, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.